Yeah, good morning, everyone. Friday we saw some corrections in the US market. Uh, Thereafter, even the futures are also a bit soft. We are seeing some policy actions in the US market, wherein the US has imposed duty on the Colombia, which exports to the US market. Largest uh, export from Colombia is to the US market. They are majorly exporting oil, coal, coffee, gold to the US market. So this has created uncertainty again. And earlier, the expectation was that the imposition of the duty will be slower and less. But with this action, some fear has again emerged, and that has put some pressure on the market. Apart from that, even dollar index, though it has come out for very well earlier, and from 108 level, it came down to as low as 107.3. But it has again a bit bounced back, and now it is at around 107.71. So declining dollar index will support emerging market in coming period. So gradually now what we see that over a period it will keep on gradually coming off. And the selling by the FII, which was influenced by uh, the, the dollar index up move in last 3-4 months, is likely to rest and may see slowdown in the FI selling in the coming period. Even futures are a bit soft in the US market, and what we are seeing that Wednesday the Fed meeting is there where the interest rate unchanged is expected. And a lot of companies' results in the US also are expected in the coming week. Four magnificent seven stocks are there. Out of that, four will be reporting results in the next week. So it's a result heavy week, and as such, before that, people are likely to be cautious because the markets are at near to the all-time high levels. So some profit booking because of that may be emerging also. Asian markets are, on the other hand, are seeing some positive trend, though marginally, but most of the markets are positive. Whereas commodities are seeing a mixed bag, wherein oil has declined by around $0.5 from the same time Friday, whereas aluminum and copper has seen decline from the close of the Friday trade in Indian market on equity by around 0.5 and 1%. whereas iron ore and steel in today morning in China are up. Iron ore is up by around 1% and steel is up by around 0.5%. So mix indication from the commodity market. So what we see that uh, though maybe we may be seeing some range bound trade, but overall direction seems positive for Indian market, looking at the dollar index, which is coming off. Now, I'll request technical people to take the call
Yeah,
from here.
thank you, sir. Good morning, all of you. Friday Nifty in the lower side, and we already mentioned that upper side immediate resistance around 23 400, 370. And Friday we saw that Nifty touched that important resistance, and then second half we saw some pressure and trading below the important level, that is 23,100. We already mentioned that 23,070 is a downside major support and upside 23,370 400 is a resistance. And we last 4 to 5 trading sessions we saw that Nifty trading between this at that range. Today we expect gap down open, and we saw that this range will be break down at downside. So we see some pressure, maybe increase in below the 23,070 if Nifty open below the 23,000. Then we expect intraday first major support around 22,940, and if Nifty trading below this range, then pressure will be increased towards 22,870, 22,800, and 700 at downside. Upside for today's session, first immediate resistance for intraday is 23,170. Today we expect gap down open, and if Nifty first half an hour trading below the 22,940 and below that range, then we expect further sell off in index. Bank Nifty already trading in the below the Bank Nifty already break that important support and trading below that Friday session. So we expect some pressure to be increased in banking stock also and Bank Nifty also. Next immediate for support place around 48,000. Below that 47,740 and 47,500 at downside. Upside first immediate resistance for intraday is 48,540 and then 48,770. So both index looks weak at current level. If first half an hour after gap down, the trading the below the important support zone, then we expect the further sell off to be continue at downside. Stock specific positive side, Britannia looks positive, Coforge looks positive. But negative side, BPCL looks weak at current level. Apollo Tyre also trading below the important support zone. So we expect some pressure to be continue and Apollo Tyre also. CG Power Glenmark also looks weak at current level. That's it for technical derivative I can carry.
Yeah, thank you, Vikas. On the derivative front, yeah, on Friday we have seen some selling pressure from the highs. The open interest is quite high, and that does suggest some sort of shorts which have been built up. PCROI is also near the oversold zone, and the VIX also is at the higher side. So, uh, these indicators are positive, but we are opening down below the 23,000 levels today with a gap down effect. 23,000 levels hold the highest put base, so it does suggest that some sort of buying support can come in from 22,900 to 23,000 levels for Nifty. Once that buying support comes in, you can see a good second half of the session for Nifty, which can again see some buying coming in. But until then, for the first half will be under selling pressure. So look out for the same. The stop loss for long should be 20 to 900. From the stock specific front, we have seen some shorts being built in the banking space. A lot of shorts have been built in, so the short covering action can probably come there. Apart from that, metals has seen long liquidation, and that can see some selling pressure come in. So yeah, that and autos can probably be under pressure in the first half of the session. So yeah, look out for the same. That's it from my side. Like to ask the fundamental team to take over, please.
Thank you. Good morning. Amber Enterprises Limited posted the result on Thursday ahead of expectations. Post the con call, our view remains neutral on the stock as we see limited upside from here, as currently the stock is trading at 60 times to FY26 earnings. The few highlights from the con call are the management expects around 30% growth in RAC industry, and the segment contributes around 70% of its top line. Further, its product expansion in PCBA and PCB and its diversification in electronics division and the mobility division are few more positives, which will contribute to company's growth over a couple of years from now. Godrej Consumer Product Limited posted the result marginally below expectations. Company's India's organic volume growth was at flat during the quarter, and revenue grew by 3%. As announced earlier, it has observed weakness in soaps and home insecticides business, where increase in palm oil and derivative prices increased by 20 to 30%. That impacted soaps category, while delayed winter in north and cyclone in south impacted the home insecticides. Rest of the portfolio performed well during the quarter. Additionally, Raymond Consumer Care is also lagging behind its own guidance. In terms of operating margin, it has lowered down a bit from its normalized range of 24 to 27%. This is led by lower than expected gross margin at around 54%. That was down by 180 basis points. The management is expecting slower recovery in terms of sales and margins. Thus, we believe the stock is fairly valued at its current PE valuation of 45 times to FY26 earnings. Vishnu Chemicals posted the results. Result has improved for the quarter. Revenue grew by around 22% on a YY basis. During the quarter, domestic market outperformed export markets, where domestic revenue share stood at 61% versus 57% in quarter two. Overall profitability has also improved during the quarter, both on YOY and QOQ basis, where the operating margin stood at 17% versus 13.5% in the same quarter last year. This is mainly on account of diverse industry mix in chromium chemicals and improved utilization levels in barium chemicals. Also, it has benefited from the consistent improvement in its processes. The stock is currently trading at a PE of 17 times FY26 EPS, and we remain positive on the company. On the pharma side, Laurus Labs Limited posted the result above expectations. Revenue grew by around 18% on a YY basis. The performance was led by strong demand in CDMO and CMO business, which is expected to support its growth over the long term. Also, formulation business has delivered healthy performance. The growth was mainly offset by lower volume uptake in API business, which declined by around 7%. The management is expecting API's growth reversal in next year with a positive order book. Also, CDMO business to deliver better performance in FY26. Overall operating margins improved at 20.2% versus 15.2% in the same quarter last year. This is mainly backed by improved both operating leverage and product mix. It expects margin to improve further in quarter four, and it retained its FY25 EBITDA margin guidance at 20%. We are positive on Laurus Labs. Torrent Pharmaceuticals Limited posted the result below expectations in terms of revenue, while margins were in line with expectations. Revenue grew by 3% on a YY basis. Revenue underperformance was mainly attributed by the challenges in Brazil, and there was a muted growth in US. Margin improvement was driven by favorable product mix and operational efficiencies, where EBITDA margin stood at 32.5%. The stock is trading at a PE of 42 times to FY26 earnings, and we are neutral on the stock. Thank you.
Good morning. Intellect Design Arena reported results, and the results have improved. The revenues grew 9.3% quarter on quarter at 607.5 crores. EBITDA margins during the quarter came in at 19.9% versus 14.2% in the previous quarter. The management has cited for the margins to be around aiming to be around 25% in the next couple of quarters. The stock is trading at a PE of 46 time TTM earnings basis, and the long term outlook remains positive for the company. Apart from that, Mphasis held a conference call on Friday during the market hours. The results were in line with the expectations. Revenues had grown 0.2% quarter on quarter in a constant currency basis. However, there was an 2% impact due to furloughs, which can be reversed in the coming quarter. So the company has guided for Q4 quarter to grow 4 to 5 around 4 to 5% sequentially. So that's positive for the company. And the new TCV deals also came in at $351 million, which is quite healthy. And it does not include $100 million deal, which the company booked in the first week of January. So overall, the outlook for Mphasis remains positive. Thank you.
Good morning. Balakrishna Industries posted the result below expectations. Revenue from operations grew by 6% quarter on quarter and 12.7% year on year. EBITDA grew by 3.6% quarter on quarter and 10.5% year on year. EBITDA margin came at 23.4% versus expectation of 26.5%. It's below expectation. PAT came at rupees 450 crores versus expectations of 421 crores. It increased because of other income. And stock is currently trading at P of 24.9 times FY26 EEPS. Thank you.
Good morning. Couple of bank reported its results. ICICI Bank posted its results on Saturday. The results were marginally above expectations. The advances grew by 14% year on year. Net interest margin came at 4.25% versus quarter on quarter 4.27%. Gross NPA stood at 1.96% and NNPA came at 0.42% flat quarter on quarter. The core operating profit increased by 14.7% year on year, excluding dividend income from subsidiaries. The rural portfolio grew by 12.2% YOY, and the business banking portfolio grew by 13.9% YOY. The domestic corporate portfolio grew by 13.2% year on year. The personal loans grew by 8.8% year on year and declined minus 1.3% sequentially. The credit card portfolio grew by 17.9% year on year. In the Concall Bank mentioned that they have continued to hold contingency provisions of rupees 13,100 crores, that is about 1% of total loans. Also, the gross NPA additions from retail and rural slippages came from the Kisan credit card portfolio. The bank's corporate banking, which represents 20% of its business, is improving. Business banking accounts for 17 to 18%, that is stable. On the retail side, secured slippages are stable, though they may increase seasonally. Unsecured slippages have seen a rise in NPA additions. Corrective actions have led to flattening out the personal loan portfolio this quarter. The stock is trading at PE of 15.1 times FY26 EPS and 2.8 times trailing price to book value ratio. Overall, it was a stable quarter with the asset quality levels maintained. Corporate banking and business banking continue to perform well. The outlook for the stock is positive for the long term. Also, Yes Bank Limited posted its results. Results is marginally above expectations. Advances grew by 13% year on year. Net interest margin came at 2.4%, flat quarter on quarter. PAT grew by 164.5% year on year. Asset qualities were flat on sequential basis. The stock is trading at PE of 16.9 times FY26 EPS and 1.2 times trading price to book value ratio. The outlook for the stock is neutral. And Bank of India posted its results. The results improved. Advances grew by 12% year on year. Net interest margin came at 2.8%. Its profits grew by 34.6% year on year. Gross NPA improved to 3.69% and net NPA at 0.85%. The stock is trading at a PE of 5.5 times FY26 EPS and 0.7 times trailing price to book value ratio. The outlook is neutral for the stock. Thank you.
Good morning. JSW Steel posted their results. The results are above expectations. Volume came at 7 million tons versus quarter on quarter 6.8 million tons and year on year 6.9 million tons. Revenue from operations has increased 4.3% quarter on quarter and has reduced 1.3% year on year. EBITDA margin came at 14.2% versus the expectations of 13.1%. We also attended the con call of JSW Steel. The outlook is positive for the same. Here are some highlights. The company earlier guided for production of 28.4 million tons and sales of 27 million tons in FY25, but now expects to achieve around 98% of its volume guidance. Coking coal prices in quarter 3 declined by $35 versus earlier guidance of $20 to $25. The company expects improvements in quarter 4 aided by lower coking coal by $10 to $15 and iron ore prices reduction of around 350 rupees and also higher volume and realization. The company expects quarter 4 for Italy to be better in terms of EBITDA due to a missed opportunity to supply to a large rail customer in the previous quarter. The company's recent acquisition of Thyssen Electrical Steel India through a joint venture with JFE Steel has received CCI approval and is expected to close in the next few weeks. The 1 million ton expansion at BPSL has been fully ramped up with incremental volumes kicking in, focusing on value-added and alloy steel products for various industries. The company has commissioned the blast furnace at JVML Vichayanagar and one SMS unit with the second caster starting in January as a part of 5 million ton project. Implementation of safeguard duty on import is work in progress and needs to be watched. Import in recent period has reduced in expectation of safeguard duty. Thank you.
Yeah, request commodity team to take up from here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. So in today's session, we have seen some cool off in commodities. Prices in gold have already witnessed a gap down opening, and one should wait for a pullback around 79 900 to 80,000, and whereby one can initiate a sell with a stop loss of 80,250 or 80,200. Some profit taking is expected till 59 500, 59 300 on down. Sorry, 79 500, 79 300 on downside. So watch out for that. Silver is expected to test 90,300 to 90,000 on downside. So there could be some range bound trading from 91,500 to 90,000, and one can trade within this range. Wherein copper, we are expecting some profit taking if prices are sustaining below 840, then one can initiate a sell with a small stop loss of 80 842, and on downside again 834 832 is the level where one can book profits. If zinc is sustaining below 279, then we would witness for the sell off till 8 265, or one should wait for a pullback till 270, then sell with a stop loss of 271.50. And in crude oil, prices are expected to test 6350 6300 on downside, so wait for a pullback around 6430 6450, and sell with a stop loss of 6510. And in natural gas, prices are expected to consolidate from 320 to 340. And for a trading purpose, one can buy with a stop loss of 320. If 320 is breached, then one should exit long positions. And again, for a pullback, again can sell around at 340 with a stop loss of 348. So that's it from us. Thank you very much.